Hey guys, welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm a dual UK and American citizen, and today I am talking about some of the lesser known phrasing differences between what Americans will say and what Brits will say. Now, before I get too far into this video, I just want to say if you are enjoying these videos, please make sure to hit subscribe. Often people don't. You rely on YouTube showing you the video in your feed. I know I am guilty of this for a lot of creators I enjoy. It really helps to make sure you see my videos and to tell YouTube that you're enjoying my videos if you just hit that subscribe button at the bottom. Okay, so I have made a list of what I would call grammatical or phrasing differences between what we would say in the US and what we would say in the UK. These are not like in the UK we say trousers and in the US we say pants. These are more the way we might say something, and this video is also not to say that one is right and one is wrong, though I know my British audience will be like, definitely British English is right and American English is wrong. Some people were like, it should be called English versus American English, not British English. People use British English, Australian English, Canadian English, American English to differentiate between different things said in English in different countries that say things differently. So if you want to fight it out in the comments, feel free, but I will not do that in this video. I'm not saying one is right, one is wrong, but these are some lesser known differences of the way we say things that you might not have known. Okay, so the first one is the phrase gone off. So in the UK, we would use gone off to mean that something has expired. So the milk has gone off, or has the cream gone off. In the US, we don't use the phrase gone off to mean what we do in the UK. Gone off in the US, if it's used, would really be like someone has gone off somewhere. If we're talking about a food product going off, we don't say that. We say this has expired, or we might say this is past its use by date or its sell by date. So gone off in the UK versus this has expired or gone past its sell by or use by date. Now, the next one is the use of the phrase I don't mind in the UK. So if you say I don't mind, it means that you don't have a preference. And so this is also in UK British English, you could say like, I'm not bothered either way, I don't mind. Now, if you said this in the US, we would definitely understand what you mean, but most of us don't say, I don't mind. We might say, I don't care. I don't care which one, I don't care. This can come off to a British person as being kind of aggressive and meaning not that you don't have a preference, but to them it would mean that you just don't care at all. So in the US, if you hear I don't care, it means I don't mind. But again, if you're an American using this in the UK, be mindful of what that would mean to a British person. I see this a lot in expat groups where one of them is British and one of them is from the States, and huge arguments can erupt over someone saying I don't care, because to British ears this sounds dismissive, where to American ears it is our equivalent of I don't mind. Obviously it does kind of depend on the context. So if you're in the US saying like I don't care in a rude or dismissive or negative way, then it can be taken as such. But if someone says, do you want pasta or hamburgers for dinner tonight? And you say, I don't care. It's just us saying, we don't mind. We don't have a preference. Okay, so the third thing is the term sort it out. So in the UK, the phrase sort it out is similar to the American way of saying figure it out. Americans wouldn't typically say sort it out, sort something out, sort yourself out, I'll sort it. Americans would say I'll figure it out, or make sure you figure it out. So for instance, if I needed to buy train tickets for tomorrow, I might tell my husband, oh, don't worry, I've sorted it out. i.e., I've figured it out, I've bought the tickets, or I've looked at the schedules, or whatever it is I need to do. The Brits would say sort, where Americans might say figure. So kind of the same things. Imagine two siblings are fighting in the back seat. A British mum might say, sort yourselves out, where an American mom might say, like, figure it out between you two. So the term sort versus figure are different in the UK and the US. So the fourth difference is the phrase going around someone's house. So in the UK, you might say, I'll go round her house, which means in the American usage, I will go over to her house or I went to her house, but Americans wouldn't say to go round your house. To them, going around your house would mean walking around your house. Whereas to a Brit, if you go round to someone's house, you're going straight through the front door into their house. So this is another small difference, but a difference that definitely becomes noticeable when you live here as an expat and hear people say that they went round someone's house. It just means that they went to their house, which an American wouldn't say with the term round, but would say, I went over to their house. Oh, hey there! I'm interrupting this video very quickly, not with a sponsorship, but to tell you about the Girl Gone London Patreon, because I don't want you to miss out on this really amazing community we're building. If being a part of a community like that is something that interests you, I know, especially given what's happened in the past couple years, it can be really easy to be lonely. I've experienced a lot of loneliness in the UK as an expat over my time here, and this is really a way to kind of join this community of people who are meeting over on Patreon. We're having weekly live streams, voting on video topics. You can actually commission entire videos depending on what tier you sign up for, and just a way to get more involved in the channel. Again, completely understand if you're like, I am already hate watching you. I do not need more of you in my life. I get it. And yeah, we would love to have you in my most American sounding hospitality kind of way. I cannot physically bake you a bread basket like I might if you were moving in next door, but I will welcome you in other ways to the Girl Gone London Patreon. Okay, back to the video. Now, another fascinating difference is the use of questions at the end of a sentence in some UK phrases. So for instance, I've written one down here. Now, I don't say this myself, so I did have to write an example, but somebody might say, they're telling you to have a great holiday, and my inflection will probably be wrong on this because, again, I don't say it like this, but someone might say, have a great holiday, won't you? So they're asking a question that isn't a question at the end. It's more of a command and direction to have a great holiday. They're wishing you well, and they finish it with this question of, won't you? So in the US, in that context, we don't add a question at the end of that statement. If we're telling someone to have a great vacation, we say have a great vacation. We have other instances where we do use questions as well, but not in that particular context. So it's an interesting one when you start hearing people talk like that in the UK, and you understand from their tone that it is not a question at the end, but they're kind of finishing with a question to emphasize the statement that they were making. The sixth difference is the phrase going to hospital. So to British ears right now, you're probably wondering how an American would say this, because to you, this is just how you say it. We're going to hospital, or I need to go to hospital. In the US, we would say I need to go to the hospital, or I need to go to a hospital. But for our ears to say, I'm going into hospital sounds incorrect. Again, this is not a video about what is incorrect and correct. Please feel free to duke it out in the comments, but it is a difference. So we would say, I broke my arm, I need to go to the hospital, whereas a Brit might say, I broke my arm, I need to go to hospital. The next difference, and this is an easy one, is in the UK, if you're congratulating someone on something, you might say, good on you. In the US, we would definitely understand what this means, but we would more traditionally say good for you. So if you're congratulating someone in either country, you will know the most used way of saying things, but of course, there are a ton of different ways of congratulating someone, and this is my regular caveat in my video that I am making sort of sweeping generalizations in order to actually have a video and to talk about the differences. So you might say something different than what I've just explained, but as a massive generalization, in the UK, you would say good on you, and in the US, you would say good for you. Now, the eighth thing on my list is the usage of a word. So the word mooch. So in the UK, mooch is more commonly used as mooching around or having a mooch. This is basically wandering around with no real destination or purpose or place to go. So I might say, I'll have a mooch around John Lewis, which just means I'm kind of just ambling through, taking my time. I don't have a specific purpose. You're wandering, you're having a mooch. We do not use this terminology for the phrase or word mooch in the US. If you said having a mooch, we might get it based on context clues, but it's really not something that's said commonly. If you say mooch to us, we are thinking of a mooch. Now the more that I've said this word, it's becoming not a word in my head. But a mooch to be somebody who is taking advantage of someone else. So this is not a phrase difference, this is a word difference, but just so you Brits know, if you're in America and you're telling somebody that you're having a mooch around or you want to have a mooch, they probably won't understand what you're saying and will more equate it to taking advantage of someone. Another small did you know in UK versus US terminology, the word parentheses, which is used in the US, which I will put up on the screen, are more commonly called brackets in the UK. So this is really common like in schools, or if you're editing something at a job, people might tell you to add parentheses or add brackets. Americans might not know what you mean by brackets, and I've known some Brits who didn't use or had ever heard the term parentheses. So I'm not entirely sure if this is regional or if this is an entire UK versus US thing. So as always, I kind of pick something I'd like you all to weigh in on, besides the fighting about what is correct American English or British English. Which do you say, brackets or parentheses, or do you say something else? And the final difference for this video is what we would say in the UK as to have a think, or to have a wander, or to have something that you would do. So in the US, we would only just say, think about it. In the UK, they might say, have a think about it. We typically in the US will not preface it by saying have a anything. It will just be more of a command or a direction to think about it. So you can find this in lots of different situations and different words that are used to have a blank, versus in the US we would skip the to have a anything and just kind of go in with the more direct communication. Okay, so that takes me to the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Definitely, I anticipate lots of comments on all these different English versus American English or British English versus American English differences. I will be doing more videos on language differences, so I'd love to see any suggestions on things you'd like me to cover. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.